fake Facebook man, posting lies about my life which no one else can. Filters on my face to disguise my age, showing money that I don't have. There's words on my page. Why don't you come and join my team? It's called living the fake Facebook life dream. If they post a pic of me deep clean, but it's pizza and burgers for dinner, you know what I mean. A snapshot of vacations that I got no money to take. Send you one of my sports cars, you know that it's a fake. Got my love loaded up with things that aren't even true. Pretending on Facebook is my thing to do. Yeah, 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 yeah.
2,000 friends, which I've never done met. A pic of my lunch is what you're gonna get. I had a post of your baby, say it's one darn cute kid. But I lied, cause it's ugly, that's called an online fib. I talk about success in my job and the pending promotion. But in reality it's a psych, cause I got a demotion.
Only the fake Facebook man, posting lies about my life which no one else can. Filters on my face to disguise my age, showing money that I don't have. There's words on my page. Why don't you come and join my team? It's called living a fake Facebook life dream.
You block me on Facebook without a judge, jury, or trial. I'll be creeping you the next day with a shiny new profile. See a pic of my family? Yeah, we're having a good time. Well, the joke's on you. We have not talked in 8 months or 9. I'll tell you about the weather and the stuff you don't need to know. I'll fake a good illness so the sympathy will grow. I'll ask you to donate to my made-up cause and post selfies on the daily. That ain't breaking no laws. So don't judge the life of the fake Facebook man, pretending to be happy like no one else can. Well, good morning, Mr. Kinsman. How are you doing?
Good morning. This is a rare morning start. Don't adjust your clocks. Yes, we're doing the show this morning at 11.
Yes.
It's exciting time. So yes, the coffee has been brewed, and we're going to be sipping through a nice conversation with the mayor of North Bay. Mm-hmm. Going to join us in mere moments.
I have to say that your hair does not look as good in the morning, because I usually see you in the evenings for the shows, but it's a little different in the morning, isn't it?
Is it a little bit different? I don't know. I didn't even do anything to the hair beforehand. Of course, met you for breakfast. We're at a restaurant in Doe earlier this morning, so I don't know. It's raining now, so maybe I don't know. I'm just calling my hair. It's Element. I haven't done anything. It's the au naturel headed into the show today.
So we have the mayor, Al McDonald. Yeah. He's waiting for us now. You know, we are professional media folks, so I really hope you did your homework, that you know lots about North Bay, and just not just fannies, Kinsman. You've been to the waterfront, right? You've been to Main Street. You know North Bay, right?
It's funny how you say fannies, because I think everybody and their grandmother has been to fannies.
Well, maybe not grandmothers.
Well, you know what? Maybe the grandmother's going in there to yank grandpa out of there, saying, "What are you doing at Fanny's?" Right?
It is a beautiful city, beautiful northern city, and I've been there lots. I love it there, and we're very pleased to have Al. Which it's his third term. Did you know that, Mark?
Third term, so it means he's doing something really well down there for our neighbors south of us. And they've got a booming metropolis. So we're going to bring Al on and find out how things are going. You know, especially being a mayor, in a pandemic. It's nice to hear from our the other neighbors in surrounding communities. So we're all battling the same thing.
I'm going to bring him on now, Kinsman. Yep. Are you ready?
Let's bring him on, Al McDonald.
Good morning, Al.
Good morning. Good morning,
How are you
gentlemen.
doing?
I'm doing excellent. How about you?
Yeah, well, you know what? We have a show later on this evening at Full Beard Brewing, and we're a little bit worried about the rain, but the sun has come out over the city of Timmins. So, and it looks like from behind you, the sun's in North Bay also.
It is. It's a wonderful day here. We're very fortunate to live in Northern Ontario. Something that we're very proud of as Northern Ontarians. And Timmins is a beautiful city. I have some really good friends up there, Joe and Carol Kariga. I don't know if you know them. But no, just Timmins is great. Great mayor that you have. I enjoy serving with them. And, you know, with all due respect to Timmins, I'm a little biased. I think our city's the best in Northern Ontario. So I'll just throw that out there.
Fair.
So we're already throwing the jabs in already, right?
Well, there's lots of things to celebrate about North Bay, but
Right.
I wanted to go back a bit. So, you know, reading your bio, you're born in France. So what happened? You're a little kid and you spin the globe and lands on North Bay and you go, one day that's going to be my city. How does someone get from France to a Northern Ontario city?
So my dad was a fighter pilot in the armed forces. So he flew the Voodoos. They're called CF-101s. And they were stationed in Marville, France, when I was born. I don't remember it. Obviously, I was probably one when we moved to Canada. But military life is nomadic, right? We moved every 2 years. My dad was a pilot, so we were always moving to bases. So we moved to, when we came back to Canada, we moved to Winnipeg, Cold Lake, Comox, Ottawa, Bagotville, Goose Bay, Labrador. And then when I was 16, we moved to North Bay. And the really cool part of that is, you know, when I went to high school here, you know, all the people that I met here, they grew up with everybody, right? So they went to kindergarten, primary, middle school, high school, where I had to make friends, you know, very quickly. And then within 2 years, I was saying goodbye and starting the whole process over. So that kind of helped me in my position as mayor, is you learn how to meet people and make friends very quickly. So I enjoyed the life, to be honest. My parents moved on to Colorado Springs when I was 19. So you can imagine Winnipeg, no offense to Winnipeg or Goose Bay or Bagotville, but Colorado Springs would have been a great post, but I didn't get to go.
Yes. So all across the world, coming from a military family. And I know this, Mark, because I was bugging Mark. I wondered if he did his history about North Bay. North Bay, I believe, played an integral part in the Cold War. Am I right?
You are correct.
Yes.
Still does. Well, still plays an integral role for the security of North America to this day. So the one thing that my dad did was he was so NORAD would scramble the fighter jets as the Russian bears would come over the polar cap, the bombers. And what would happen is the fighter jets had to intercept the Russian bombers. And when they did, the Russian bomber would just turn and go back. And what the Russians were doing was timing to see how fast the response would be, you know, if something should happen. Right. So today, even today, it's F-18s now that are intercepting the Russian bears, and it's happening all the time.
Oh, wow.
So in North Bay, we scramble the fighter jets from Cold Lake and Bagotville, and we're connected to the Cheyenne Mountain in Colorado Springs.
Oh, wow.
Yes, that's interesting. That's an interesting, I guess, history and present. Yeah, that military connection. I guess we still have a lot to learn with our neighbors in the north. I guess not from the north. It'd be south for us, right, Mark?
South, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good. You know you're
down Highway 11, right? Do you know what highway? Yes. If you go down, what, three hours, the normal commute, what is it, 4 hours to North Bay from here?
Well,
say 3 hours.
If you're traveling the speed limit like we always do, of course.
That's it.
Yeah, 3 hours.
Good drive, nonetheless. And when you're whenever you go south, you're always stopping in North Bay, and it's a great booming metropolis. I think everybody talks about the waterfront when they come through North Bay. It's there's that little park there where there's like a carousel, some rides, and all sorts of fun stuff for the kids there.
It is. It's a beautiful waterfront. It's, we've probably spent $30 million on it over the last 20 years. It's incredible. And it's interesting, if you've walked the waterfront, with all the cobblestones and the the green spaces and the incredible Caribbean beaches, right? Because it's all sand.
Right.
There's tremendous gardens there, and what we're very proud of is we have 800 volunteers called the Heritage Gardeners that do our gardens each and every year. And it's interesting. The Heritage Gardeners will say that when they're working on the gardens, people will walk by and say, "Hey, why don't you come to my yard and fix my garden up?" And
Right.
the gardeners will say, "This is your backyard."
Mm-hmm. So promoting a lot of, community spirit, and people come in and take care of something that belongs to the citizens of North Bay. I love that philosophy. Especially when you go to a city with a waterfront. I'm originally from Thunder Bay, so they've also invested in their waterfront, and it just makes it much more beautiful, and it's accessible to our, the whole community, and it's something that you could be proud of. And even, especially in the last 15, 16 months now, I personally believe, it's time to get back focusing on the positives in our communities. There's been everyone knows there's been lots of negativity in the world, what's been happening, but we sometimes lose the mindset of, what we have in our own backyards.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
And you're seeing people move north, right? They want to get out of the big centers. They want to get to space. So it really shows that green space and parks and lakes and the feel of smaller communities, and 45 or 50,000 isn't a small space, but there's a lot of desire to get out of those crowded elevators and crowded streets with COVID.
Right.
So we live in a great part of the world that people are just starting, I believe, to recognize.
Are you starting to find that more people are picking up real estate in and around North Bay and the surrounding areas? Like, obviously up here, real estate is booming. It's probably doing the same down in North Bay as well for you.
It is. It's not unheard of to hear 4 or 5 bids over the asking price. Our waterfront properties have just skyrocketed. It's really booming. It's pretty special, to be honest. Our builders they're building houses as fast as they can, and obviously they run into some supply chain challenges with lumber and material and labor, but they're doing everything they can. But yeah, the city's actually busting at the seams.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's difficult to brag about our own personal accomplishments. But as someone who, this is your 3rd term, so obviously that's, previous successes has carried you from term to term. And from what I read, you're very active in the community, living a healthy lifestyle, running, playing hockey, supporting individuals who've been victims of crime. Do you feel because you're accessible and visible in the community has led to your success now into a 3rd term?
Wow. Well, first off, it's my wife that works with victims of crime, so I don't want to take credit from her.
Right.
She does an incredible job. I think it's because I'm accessible and I'm very involved. I really volunteered quite a bit for my community, long before I got into politics. I really wasn't interested in politics, to be honest. It just kind of, a whole bunch of business people came forward and asked me to run. And I've stated that this is my last term. It's time to hand the reins over to someone else. Mm-hmm. But I think it's a combination of just my experience. I'm very even keeled. Have an open mind, and I apologize. My phone keeps going off.
That's okay.
And I'm willing to work with just about everyone. I have an open door policy, and people will say they have an open door policy, but my open door policy is absolutely my door's open. And I'm always happy to meet with anyone. Very active on social media. I try to tell the best stories I can of our community and what we're doing. Mm-hmm. Social media, as you know, can be a challenge, especially when you have some of the individuals out there just behind fake names and keyboards. But
that's right. Yeah.
It's tough, from that perspective. It's tougher on the family than us. But the one thing you learn in politics is when they stop talking about you, that's when you're in trouble. Right. So if they like you and don't like you, it usually means that you're relevant.
That's right. You got to stay out in front of everybody with social media, and making your post, and just looking at your own personal Facebook page you're very vocal, and you're one to comment. If someone makes a comment, you're right there in the comment thread.
I do my best, to be honest. There's some comments that you just can't engage, just because of the content that they put out there. But I do my best, just like both of you. You're trying to make your city a better place, and I'm no different. I'm no more special than the next person that lives in our community, and I'm hopeful by the end of my third term that the city's in a better place than when I got it. And that's really, at the end of the day, that's what we always try to do.
I was thinking, just recently, so you have your first 2 terms of mayor, and then you're sort of adjusted, and you have some things that you know what to expect, and probably what the criteria is of things that are working well and things that are going to be a challenge. But I would assume that when you stepped into your 3rd term, they didn't teach you how to be a leader during a pandemic. That's not something you learned in school, and there's no real, there's no textbook for that. So what has it been like to be in your shoes as leader of a community during a worldwide pandemic?
So you're right. There's no rule book. I mean, even the prime minister and the premiers don't have rule books, right? You're trying to do what you can. And I remember sitting down with our medical officer of health back in January saying, hey, do we have some concerns here? And he said, well, right now the risk is low to the country. And then what happened in the beginning of March. And in the beginning of March, I was actually at PDAC, which is the largest mining conference in the world. And there was 25,000 people there from around the world. And within 3 days, the country shut down. So I came back, and I had to isolate for 14 days because somebody tested positive out of that 25,000. Who knows if I ever came across them? Probably not. But I just did it out of respect to everybody. I'm going to tell you a really interesting story. So my first meeting, right? So now they've shut down the country. We've closed down City Hall. We've closed all our facilities. We sent our staff home to work from home. The first emergency meeting that I sit in. And so there's, I don't know, 12, 14 of us, and we're in the boardroom, right? And we're all trying to stay. The meeting starts, and the first question is to the arena manager. So you can imagine you're sitting in this room trying to figure out what's going on. You hear all the scary stories. And the question to the arena manager was, how cold can you get Memorial Gardens?
Oh, interesting.
Morgue.
Oh, no. Jeez, that's the first concern.
First question is how cold can you get Memorial Gardens? So at that point, I knew it was serious, right?
Okay.
That they were expecting a lot of deaths and casualties. So if that doesn't get your blood going, I don't think anything will. So that was my first real eye-opening moment. I think during the pandemic, though, what we did here in the city of North Bay is we told our citizens everything. We kept them up to date. We were always holding media conferences. We did videos. We tried to support our local businesses. We really pushed, following the protocols because there was no vaccines at the time. We did everything, and the community responded extremely well. So we actually had the lowest cases in the province per capita for the longest time. We really did. It was something we were really proud of. And obviously we're not the lowest right now just because we've had a few surges and outbreaks. We're doing pretty good now, but we were the lowest. But it's really a reflection of how we communicated everything to the community and the sense of community our citizens had to protect the medical professionals, the nurses, the doctors, the police, the fire, the ambulance attendants. So we really pushed that at the beginning, and right now, to be honest, we're really pushing the vaccine side. So I'm hopeful. I do respect those that don't want to get a vaccine or can't get a vaccine, but I just want to say, if you're able, please, if you're in doubt, get the right information and please get vaccinated. I will say the difference, though, between being the mayor pre-pandemic and mid-pandemic is you started the show saying that I was very active. Yeah. So I would be at 4 or 5 things every night, plus a dinner. Weekends were always full of community events. There'd be ribbon cuttings, all kinds of meetings. Right. And in the pandemic, I go home at night. I
Oh,
go
right.
home on the weekend. There is nothing. And
Yeah.
I miss the people like you. I miss the people and the interaction.
Mhm.
I'll be honest though, I don't miss the hundreds of dinners that I had to go to, because you can imagine after a long day, you
Yeah.
have something to eat and you're finished eating, you just want to sit on the couch, right? Because you're
Yeah.
tired. Well, when you're the mayor, everybody wants to talk to you. Everybody's watching you. So you eat, and then you have to listen to speeches for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
And you have to stay awake.
Yes.
You just want to throw the towel in and sit on the couch and watch crummy movies on TV. And
Yeah.
but here you go. You got to put on the happy face and out you go to represent, eh? But I guess that's all comes with the territory.
It is, and
Yeah.
the people are great. It's just, you can imagine you wake up the next morning and your day starts all over. Same thing. So
Yeah.
so it's that's the difference between post-pandemic or pre-pandemic and middle of pandemic.
And post-pandemic, yes. And a good segue into movies, because I'm a big entertainment guy. And I'll admit it here, all my friends laugh. I watch all the Hallmark Christmas movies. Without a joke, I love them. I know they're basically the same, but they give me a good feeling. And I know North Bay has a big connection to the Hallmark Christmas
Yes,
movies.
they do.
Christmas Inheritance, one of my favorite, were shot in North Bay. I think they called it like Snow Falls or something like that. But it's the movie and film production scene in North Bay is fairly vibrant, is it not?
Yeah, no, absolutely. The films you were referencing were David Ensemble. So he loved North Bay so much. And I'd love to tell the story. He's from Sudbury. He bought a house and moved to North Bay. So when I call Brian Bigger, I always tell him I got one of his citizens over here.
Nice.
Yeah, no, it's the big thing about film is at the beginning, everybody's like really keen. It's really cool to see actors, and I meet lots of famous people through the film industry. But after a while, you can imagine there's 50 trucks lining the street, and they've got streets blocked off. So what happens is they call it film fatigue. So in some cities they actually push the film industry out because they don't like the inconvenience at times.
Right.
Our community actually took the opposite perspective. They want more films. So the inconvenience, they don't see as inconvenience. They recognize it as our young people that are interested in the arts and filming can now stay in North Bay instead of moving to Toronto or Vancouver or Montreal. Secondly, you can imagine all the caterers, the carpenters, the electricians, the plumbers, the stores, the hotels, they're renting houses to do these films in. It is an incredible, huge economic impact for our community.
So when you see Christmas in July, people, going, oh, the face palm emojis, you're not cringing at Christmas in July, because that brings in a lot of economy for you folks in North Bay, and you probably watch them, and you want to see if you can see maybe yourself. Have you ever been cast in any of these movies as an extra?
I've been asked a lot of times, to be honest, to do a cameo. I've always said no. One, I just really didn't have time to sit on a set for 10 hours, because if you've ever been to a set, if you have one line, it's like 10 hours before, and they'll do it 100 times. But I always say to the producers, I can't act. So, when you ask me questions, I can't pretend to be someone else. I'm just so used to being myself. So if they ask me to be you, I just couldn't do that. I would just be me. So I always tell them I can't do it. So no, to answer your question in very short words, no, I haven't.
We have some feedback coming in from the folks watching, and Mark Grant says it's one of the most colorfulest cities in the fall. True, I've been there in the fall. And Janice says, I used to love their events on Main Street around Christmas, and Main Street's really decorated for the season in around Christmas time, and looks quite beautiful. It is important in every community. It's important, but in North Bay, since we're talking North Bay, it is the beautification of the city, keeping things clean, celebrating the seasons. That must be on near the top of the list for yourself and the citizens of the community.
Absolutely. So I just want to thank Brant for his kind words, and to Janice, I think she's referring to the Christmas walk where like 25,000 people come right down to Main Street. It's just phenomenal. So just want to say thanks to both of them for their kind words of our city. if we have a group called Clean Green Beautiful, and their mandate, they're all volunteers. They pick up all the litter right out through the whole city. They plant trees. You know, we're a very green city. The one thing that our citizens value is the environment. So we do everything we can to protect our environment. We're pro-business too, don't get me wrong. But we do everything we can to protect the environment. So when you come through the city of North Bay, you referenced the downtown, you've got the Cape Paceway. We have a ski hill in the center of town. We used to joke it was the biggest daycare center in the world. The minivans would pull up at 9 in the morning. The kids would pile out. They'd ski all day. The van would pull in. The kids would be in the back of the van. They'd be falling asleep before they got home. And it was cheaper than a babysitter.
Yeah.
You know, we have paved trails. Like, we have 3,000 kilometers of trails. You know, beautiful beaches. I know your mayor was bragging about all the lakes in Timmins, and he should brag. You know, we're in the same boat. We have incredible beaches here and lakes. And I mean, I live on Trout Lake, which is just on one side of the city. And you virtually, the medical officer of health will tell me you can't do this, but you can drink the water right out of the lake.
There we go. Yeah,
That's how clean it is.
I mean, I was going to ask, you know, Al, you know, if you've never been to North Bay, why you should visit North Bay, but he's already provided us with about, you know, 15 or 20 stats why, and he's absolutely right. You know, we are neighbors in the north, but they definitely two different communities. You know, Timmins is definitely known as I say mining town. I know it's a city. And where I'm from originally in Thunder Bay, like the big thing there is Lake Superior, the sleeping giant. That's referenced a lot. Is there one theme that folks always talk about in North Bay? Is it the waterfront? Is it what would be the one thing you said? Have you been to North Bay? If you go, you have to see this.
Well, you're the heart of gold, right?
Yeah.
And we're the gateway to the city.
Mm-hmm.
Our biggest asset is our citizens. And I apologize for my dog barking.
We all have dogs. All good.
Joys of being at home today. In any event, it's the people, how friendly we are. I always say I lived in Toronto for 2 years, right? And if you got on an elevator in a building and you said hello to someone, they back up 2 feet and they think you're strange, right? In North Bay, if you're walking down the street and you ask someone for directions, they'll probably say, hey, hop in, I'll just drive you there. Right. So I mean, I could do all the whole beautiful lakes and trails and this and that, but the number one thing is how friendly our citizens are. And, you know, if you moved to North Bay, they would have a homecoming for you. They would, the whole street would welcome you to the neighborhood. It's just the way it is.
No kidding.
So it's just like it is in the Hallmark movies. That's why they're shot it, because everyone's so pleasant there. They wave, they're happy.
Yep.
We asked a question, Mark. So we introducing Al, we said we were going to ask this question. Who would win in a fishing derby? Team Timmins versus Team North Bay. Now, the mayor caught wind of this. The mayor of Timmins, George Perry, caught wind of this. And I wanted to show you, Al, what George Perry had to say, his opinion, who would win, Team Timmins or Team North Bay. So I'm going to play the video now.
Yeah, this is no contest. The city of North Bay doesn't even have one full lake in the city boundaries. They got part of Lake Nipissing, and I'm not entirely sure if Trout Lake is even in the fully in the city of North Bay. And Timmins, as you know, I mean, was at one point the largest city in North America, and I think there's 8,345 6.5 lakes in the city of Timmins. And if everybody just caught one fish, we'd beat them on that basis alone. So this is no contest. Timmins.
So that's our mayor speaking up for Team Timmins. But we always, with our guests, we have to allow for an opportunity of rebuttal. So speaking on behalf of Team North Bay is their mayor.
Yeah. So no, your mayor really described your city extremely well, and the sense of pride he has in his community is great. And obviously, we're a little biased. I would probably say. We have Lake Nipissing, and anyone that knows Lake Nipissing right around North America knows that is the lake for pickerel and for muskie and sturgeon. And everybody comes to North Bay and Lake Nipissing for fishing. Our citizens have a rich history in fishing. So, I do appreciate, his worship's comments about, that they would probably win. But it's very clear and obvious that we've already won.
Oh, they already won. That's pretty good.
Well, looking at it, there was a fishing tournament just recently down there. I think on Lake Nipissing, a bass championship. A buddy of mine, Derek, wanted me to mention this. Brian Millen apparently ties with Derek in North Bay. Won the tournament. He picked out a 14-pound bass from that tournament and won the entire thing. So the fish are big from Nipissing. There's no question.
Well, it's a great lake, and it's like the Caribbean. I'm not kidding. If you ever come to North Bay, it's like the sand beaches of the Caribbean, and the sunset actually goes into the water just like you see in the ocean. So, and the fishing is incredible.
Well, there we go. We got two fairly strong arguments. It sounds like we have, the many different options. George is bragging about in Timmins, but then you have a really, there's options in North Bay, but a real prime spot with real experienced fishermen. Mark and I would not help out because we could barely put a minnow on the hook. To be honest, so I don't think we would make any of these teams, but maybe as judges or announcers would be more our skill.
That's right. If you ever have any fishing tournaments down that way, Jamie and I, when pandemics really ease, we'll drive in there. We can definitely take the show on the road, and we'll definitely we'll MC some big events down there for you.
That's right. And before we let Al go, I love the profile pic I found of Al holding the hockey stick, the hockey gloves. Obviously a hockey fan. I know that you've played a bunch of hockey. Now we'll start with the NHL, then I want to ask about the battalions, but are you a Leaf fan?
I am a very, very proud Senators fan.
Yes.
You found your match, Klomp. Not too often we run into Senators fans when he says he's a Senators fan, but look at that, Al McDonald, the mayor of North Bay, cheers for the Sens.
I think you're the first one that said that you cheered for the Senators. So no,
I'm a Leaf fan. I get razzed by Klomp all the time.
Yes.
I lived in Ottawa for four years, and I grew up with the Rough Riders. That kind of dates me a little bit, and obviously I followed the Senators, and Chris Neal was North Bay Centennial that went on to be like the fan favorite at the Senators, but Alfredsson, the whole atmosphere there. So yeah, big Senators fan. I'll be honest, we don't have a lot to cheer for right now, but I think we have a young team that's going to do extremely well.
That's right. The next few years are going to be ours, but it is refreshing not to talk to a Leaf fan on the show, but more importantly, the OHL North Bay Battalion, they are the season's going to be kicking off relatively soon, within the next couple months or so. Are there going to be fans physically at the games? And I assume if so, the folks in the team must be really excited.
We're hoping so. I mean, obviously it depends where we are in the pandemic, but everything looks good. We're over about 60% now fully vaccinated here. So things look good. We have the best owner in hockey in Scott Abbott, incredible team of, off ice, our general manager, our coach. So we're really excited. We have a young team too. We were close to winning the championship in our first season. Barclay Goodrow, who you probably saw in the Stanley Cup playoffs, was the captain of the battalion. Chris Paul. Oh my God, I'm having a senior moment. Paul.
Who is that?
He scored the winning goal in the World Championships this year.
Oh,
Nick Paul.
Nick Paul, yes.
And Mike Matteo was drafted, or actually got traded from the Kings to the Senators this year. He was a battalion, and a really cool story. So if I can be a proud grandfather for a second, our grandson, our oldest grandson, was drafted by the battalion. So he's working pretty hard to try to make the team.
Stuff.
There we
Good
go.
hockey ties. We of course we cheer for the Timmins Rock up here. Our captain, our ex-captain, Derek Sagan, just signed on with Nipissing. He's going to be playing for Nipissing in the fall. If you're looking for points, that team just got a million times better with Derek. When you get to feast your eyes on him, he put up massive numbers for us up here. So you guys are in for a big treat when he laces it up.
We had the highest attendance for OUA hockey here in the city just before the battalion arrived. So just, it's great that he chose Nipissing University. We're very proud of that university. And Mike McParland is the coach of the Lakers. So if you haven't been out to an OUA hockey game, it's incredibly fast and skilled. So please welcome him on my behalf.
Yes, that's awesome. And it is exciting to talk about the potential of going to games. Businesses are open. You can physically go in the store, buy from these, local vendors, suppliers, stores. Like there must be, and I know it's true here in Timmins, there's a bit of a sense of relief now that we're starting to see some sense of normalcy moving forward. So I assume the morale in North Bay, because every community's been hit, you must see a bit of an leveling up of it in the last month or so.
Yeah, absolutely. You can imagine how hard it is for people not to be able to see their grandchildren or their children or family members or friends. And now it's opening up a little bit. So it does feel a little bit normal. But if you're looking around the globe, and the Delta variant is hitting a lot of those cities that have just opened up. So there's always that concern in the back of your mind. So just ask everybody to be careful out there. But yeah, we need to strengthen everybody's mental health. We have to get the kids back in school, and we have to get the businesses opened 100%. So if I could put a plug in there, if you haven't been vaccinated, please go out and get vaccinated. That's what's going to keep our community safe, and that's how we're going to get back to normal.
Good. Excellent advice. Well, there he is, Mark, Mayor Al McDonald. And
right.
I wondered how he was going to combat George Peary's message about all the lakes, and pretty impressive, I think. Pretty
impressive. And again, we're all friends and neighbors here in the north. It's great to bring Al on the show. Al, a big pleasure having you a part of KINZ and KLOMP Live. And the next time we're in North Bay, if it's Jamie and I passing through, we'll stop in. We'll meet you on a patio somewhere.
Yes.
So I stated that I have an open door policy. So please know that if you're coming through town, I will hold the round table in my office open for you, and I'll even pour your coffee for you.
Well,
we're going to take you up on that. That's a great offer right there.
Mark may even be there Monday morning if it's.
That's right. How long can I get there? I'll see you by 4:00.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Yeah, that's right. But thank you so much for finding the time for us. I know all the community leaders in the north have been extremely busy, and we really appreciate your time and getting to know our neighbors a little bit more. And go Sens go. That's my final comment.
That's right.
Go Battalion and go Rock, right?
Yes,
that's right. Timmins Rock and the Lakers, and Sagan laces it up. It's as they say, 6 degrees of separation. There's always someone from any community tied to every which one, all the communities, and it's nice to see everybody's all tied in with the North. Again, one of the friendliest places out there, North Bay. Great to have you on our show there, Al.
You're quite welcome, and be very proud of your community, gentlemen. You do have an incredible city, so be proud.
Thank you. We are. Thank you very much, and we'll talk soon.
Take care.
Take care. What is so much pride? This is what I love about Northern Ontario, Mark, is that of every city will have their turmoil and challenges and difficulties, but the overall sentiment in Northern Ontarians is they're very friendly and welcoming, and there's a lot of pride in their communities. We see that here. I know we focus, there's been a focus on a lot of the negativities, but if you look at the big picture, a lot of pride, and obviously the Mayor Al McDonald was very, very proud, talking about how the citizens have come together, how they keep the city beautiful and clean, what they do around the seasons. So that it's nice to hear. So I don't know who wins this Timmins versus North Bay fishing battle, but I know there's a lot of similarities, and that's the most important thing, my friend.
That's right. And ends in a tie. I'll say it ends with a tie. You know what? Both. Every place again in the north, always opening the door for hospitality, and again, that's why we travel the Highway 11 corridor. A lot of people commute to North Bay, vice versa. North Bay's citizens come up here to do the ATV trails in the wintertime. Again, we trade off. And again, if you're looking for a good fishing hotspot, again, talking about my buddy's friend Brian Milne. who caught a 14-pound bass in one of the local bass tournaments down there on Lake Nipissing. That's quite the fish. You search up Brian Milne and bass online. You'll see how big a 14-pound bass is.
I was looking at that big sturgeon they caught in BC. The thing looked like the size of Jaws.
That's right. They get that big here at the Matagami. You hear stories, at the end of the Matagami boat launch. Apparently, very high activity for sturgeons. Swimming through there, they can get massive. And again, if you tie the links to sturgeon, they're basically prehistoric fish. They survived, going back to 200 million years. The sturgeon's still going strong.
George Perry just has fish stories. You can tell him his cottage neighbor said that. So, okay. All right. So a couple things. And of course, a big thank you to our sponsor. So
That's
at
right.
5 p.m. tonight, Kinsman, do not take an afternoon nap.
No naps. We're getting ready to party for one more round at Full Beard Brewing. This is going to be a lot of fun. Again, another relaunch, our launch of our new KINZ and KLOMP Live 705 Blonde Ale beers. We're back. We're going to be serving it on the patio, and we'll be there with some live entertainment. What do we have planned there this evening?
Okay. First of all, you're not serving the beers.
No, we're suggesting. Hey, have you tried one of the KINZ and KLOMP Live beers?
Suggesting, yes. We're going to strongly suggest the K&K 705, KINZ and KLOMP 705. So if you weren't at Full Beard last time, it's going to be a great night. We call it one more round because it worked so well 2 weeks ago. We're doing it again. It's like being at camp, have a good night, then the next night, the same thing. We're bringing Kyle Cote back.
Kyle Cote's back. We've got more comedic acts with Rick Lemieux. He's going to be there tonight again.
Comedic acts, yes. So we got stand-up comedy from Rick Lemieux, and you and I will be doing some stuff there. So and great food from Dabrowski. So if you can make it here at 5 to 10, it's going to be fun, guaranteed, my friend. So I wanted to what else did I want to talk about here today? You again last night. You went out for another 10 p.m. pizza again at La Luna's, didn't you?
La Luna's variety, takeout and variety. Yeah, they have pizza slices. She says, well, the one time I was in there, I said your pizza slices, they were all out. So she says she messaged me up. Mm-hmm. Beauty of living in a small town, we've got pizza slices. So I went in there and grabbed a couple slices. Yes, late night snacker, and they are phenomenal slices of pizza. Again, Melissa Michaud, one of the hidden gems here in the city, 332 commercial. Mm-hmm. Can't say enough good things about La Luna's takeout and variety, where you can order pizzas. They've got fish and chips on the menu. They've got daily Facebook specials, and of course the funnel cake boats and funnel cake fries, and also the bucket. I'm going to call it a bucket. She calls it a cup. The bucket of ice cream for $7. You ask for that big giant cup, you can fill your cup until it starts overflowing for $7.
That's right. An awesome local gem. I do like how you put that there. Now, I know someone who purchased an RV from Timmins RV, and it's not one of our regular viewers. They haven't told us that we can talk about that, but I think a viewer has purchased one. But this is someone else, and they just got a spot out at Villers Bay with this RV, and they're loving life now. Let me tell you, Kinsman. So they got the new RV, they got the camping spot. They decided not to move it back and forth from place to place. And let me tell you, I don't know if we're ever going to see them again. Maybe when the sno comes. But this is,
you think so?
They're loving it. Of course, they're loving it.
Well, look at the amenities on and some of the the accommodations on these trailers and RVs are more. There's more accommodations than most houses. And, in some cases, the islands, I don't have islands in my place, but these RVs, the Keystone Arcadia, one of their newest line of RV, that those features in there, it's like sitting in a movie theater in your living room, double fireplaces, double fridges, you got the kitchenette inside. And then if you want to, take it to the outside when you're, over the overhang and, what am I trying to say here? The overhang, the tarp there that comes over.
The awning.
You've got the barbecues outside. And again, it's all the amenities from home, but in an RV. And again, the Keystone Arcadia, one of the newest lines. And if you haven't seen them, a 360-degree tour at timmonsrv.com. And you can also, set yourself up for an in-person appointment. Again, the first left past the Kamoskosia turnoff.
The awning.
Great folks over there.
It's called the awning.
The awning. There we are. Yes, the overhang thing.
Yeah, it's not the overhang thing.
Yeah,
I don't know
how many RVs I've bought in my lifetime.
Yes, you would not be hired as an RV salesman, nor would you be hired as a bus driver, and you were terminated from Full Beard. I don't know what's happening here, kids, but
hey. Yeah. Full Beard, I had 2 seconds of training, so that's not too bad for 2 seconds. And Penny, when it comes to Lucian Transportation, she said, through the keys, here you go. Let's go for a ride. So, better training. Yes, we can probably be better at, driving buses.
Don't use
filling beer cans at Full Beard. But, Lucian they are looking for new drivers. And again, the school season fast approaching. Let's get you hired. How do they do it there, Klomp?
Good. My turn. You always get so excited with these sponsors, Ken.
I do.
I can tell, and it's good because we do love them all. But yes, here's the easiest thing. You're on Facebook because you're watching the show. Go to the Lucian Transportation Timmins Facebook page. Boom, click the link, and I'm telling you, good pay, full training, Monday through Friday, daytime hours. Bring your kids with you. It's perfect, except Mark. Maybe you don't apply, but everyone else. This is an awesome job. You need some.
I did well. I didn't scrape the bus. I parked a little crooked, but hey, there was no.
You know what happened after you drove the bus? True or not true? They had to bring it to the shop to fix it. True or not true?
Yeah, that's right. I had to park it at the garage door. But again, she says the buses do stick. The brakes do stick the odd time. I don't know what happened. We were on the highway and. She says, I think the brakes are rubbing together. So, we parked it at the bay, but that wasn't my fault because you were driving before me. How do we know that didn't happen during your ride? And I just intensified.
I had the answer. Okay, when I drove it didn't go.
That's right.
Taylor Lake is the campground to be. I got Mitch Jeans coming there. Nice. Mitch, always a great performer from Cochrane. Taylor Lake is also a nice campground. So we actually have Mark's company. He's giving away Johnson Creek tickets on Sunday's show.
Yes.
Boats and sews. And listen, this is the guy to go for your upholstery needs. He does a lot of things. He does great work. He's made us a couple dog beds. You got like this chair at home that's like has a tear, but it's like your favorite lazy boy. You don't go buy a new one. You just and he's going to fix it. This guy does tremendous work. So maybe I'll get him to fix the zipper on my tent. I wonder if he does that, but he's awesome. So we'll chat a lot about his company on Sunday, but they got Johnson Creek tickets to give away.
That's right. Well, we had Johnson Creek ticket. Remember from the last show that we wanted to give away, but we didn't because they put it on pause with the current lockdown. But now things are back, so these tickets will now be honored at the two upcoming shows. Well, I'm excited. If you haven't followed Johnson's Creek, they talk about Timmins and the North all the time. Always excited to come back here. And again, the Vic, one of the hot spots for concert activity. I know Paul Sabalge is he's playing there in the next couple of weeks on a Friday and Saturday. This weekend he's there Friday and Saturday.
He's at
the venue. Again, it's nice to see the venues opening up for live music again.
The poker run is this Saturday. So
every
year the Timmins Tuners do an event that the money goes towards helping a family in need. And this year is for a young Iroquois Falls resident by the name of Seb, who is battling a very significant illness. And so what you do, it's very simple. You go down in our doozies between 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. And you're going to pay, is it $30, $25, Kinsman?
$25 to get yourself in. And again, you don't have to sign up online. You just show up between 9 and noon and register, and then they let the cars go to the poker run. And there's eight spots. Yeah,
they're going to give you 8 spots that are between Timmins, Iroquois Falls, Cochrane, maybe Matheson. But every spot
Porcupine's in there in Timmins, yes.
Yeah, so every spot you go to, you either play a game or get a card. But you're going to come back with 5 cards, playing cards. And you give them the TJ runs the event, and the person with the best poker hand is going to win the grand prize. But there's a whole ton of other everyone there is going to win a prize if it's like last year. Tons of prizes, and support this family out. That is the poker run, which you are going to be hosting alone because tomorrow morning, I'm going home to see. Well, I'm going back home to see my dad. First time in a year and a half in Thunder Bay.
Thunder Bay, your dad wanted some KINZ and KLOMP 705. So what better delivery service than to have it delivered by his little boy?
Yeah,
as you head north, you haven't been back in what 17 months?
I had longer. I haven't seen my dad in a year and a half, but he came to Timmins for Christmas. I haven't been back in close to 2 years. I always go back to Thunder Bay. So looking forward to that. And next week, Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday, we are going to have Thunder Bay guests on the show, and we're looking forward to that. So you got a lot of work to do, Kinsman. You're going to be by yourself hosting some of these live events.
That's right. I can handle it there, Mr. KLOMP.
I know. I have no faith in you driving the bus, but I got faith in you hosting these events. Hey, our friends, Pick of the Crop are back.
Yes, they are. Pick of the Crop is back. Good old Rob and Jerry wanted to pass along that not only are they the freshest when it comes to your produce and all the quality grocery items, but they've also got great romaine lettuce on sale this week. They've got cherries, they've got peaches, grapes, also plums, and fresh Ontario corn is there this week for you. And they're open till 8 tonight. So get yourself stocked up, Pick up the Crop, fresh and making your life easy. And they certainly do. You walk in there. I don't know how easy it is because you want to buy everything in there. Mm-hmm. So much. You just have to stop and ask Lori, one of our great loyal viewers, also one of the great cashiers there at Pick of the Crop.
I tell you, it is easy. And here's my go-to meal. I go there and I get one of the stuffed chickens. Yep. I get a stuffed pepper. I get a mixed salad. I get some garlic bread. And then, unfortunately, I buy a ton of candy, which, whatever. That's just me. Kinsman, you put that stuffed chicken, you put that stuffed pepper in all you got to do is put it in the oven at 325 for 45 minutes. Boom. You go on a date, Kinsman, you cook that meal, you're going to be married in 2 days, okay?
That's right.
This is how good it is.
It's really Rob and Jerry and his staff that prepare the dinner. We just heat it up, right?
Yeah, yes.
We really can't take any of the credit when it comes to a Pick of the Crop dinner, because really it's, we put it in the oven, put on the barbecue for a few minutes, and boom, dinner is done. All the hard work is done at Pick of the Crop.
I do get a lot. Yes. They see me over at I see Lori at Pick of the Crop all the time.
All the time, yeah.
I buy all my stuff there. It's and I'm not like nothing against these big box stores. I like going to small, locally owned. It's not, and boom, in and out, and get everything's fresh there. So we love them. And here's some more bad news for you, Kinsman. You also got to work the Mountjoy Farmers Market alone Saturday too. I'm a little worried about you. Are you going to be overworked? Because
I'm going to be okay on Saturday for you.
Because they have something special coming to the Mountjoy Farmers Market. Do you know what it is?
That's it. Live chickens will be there for the kids to come on by and get up close and personal with chickens. And I do believe if it's they're coming from Rock's own personal property, they're the Chinese chickens. They've got the little hairdos on them. So kind of fun for the kiddies if you're headed down there between 9 and noon. Hopefully you'll be down there. And again, yes, I'll be down there in between doing the poker run and porcupine and racing back to do the farmer's market.
Listen, you took a vacation in her. She didn't hear me complaining about that.
I know. I'm not complaining. I can do it.
Yes, but I'm actually going to be working in Thunder Bay. I'm going to show you a nice video tour of my hometown. And now that we've learned about North Bay, we'll coach you on Thunder Bay, and you'll know all the bays, okay? All the Sellers Bay. I talk to you about that. I'll give you the coaching of all the bays. But farmers market every Saturday till Thanksgiving, Kinsman.
That's right, 9 to noon. And again, Rock we sell. He was in Toronto last weekend. Says he's back this week, obviously, with his chickens, and he's looking forward to seeing everybody, including the vendors.
Janice will be there. She's at every event. I bet you'd see Janice at the Bo's Carnival coming back.
Not yet. Not yet. I hope they do. I think when they do come back, it will be the 50th year for providing entertainment. So the big 5-0 in the city of Timmins. They wanted to come back pre-COVID. It was right before the COVID hit. It would have been that summer. It would have been the big 5-0. They were going to rent out and use the Hollinger Park, the baseball field, and bring in every ride imaginable that Bose has. But obviously, COVID has put the wrench in there. So when things clear up and Bose can come back safely, it's going to be a big party here in the city of Timmins.
The Warriors, alongside the Timmins Tuners, the Show and Shine last weekend raised over $12,000 for the food bank and a whole ton of food. They brought in for the food bank. Amazing, well-organized, very fun event at Narduzzi's again, right? Just like the poker run. They're doing a lot of good work for the community, the team over there at Narduzzi's.
They are, always opening up the parking lot and using the space. Why not? You've got the space. Why not give back to the community? Because when people think of giving back, you think Narduzzi's. So when you're down there, they'll say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and grab, my dinner. Let's go for supper at Narduzzi's because of all the hard work that they do in the community. It's nice to, as they say, scratch your back, they'll scratch yours and theirs. So there you go. There's the cliche for the morning here.
Yes, yeah, just what I love. And finally, the Surge is back open. We went in there opening night, of course.
Yes.
Had a little bit of a chat with them. But our first big event is August the 14th, is the 8 and 8. We're going to be on air for 8 hours. 8 hours, Kinsman. 12 till 8 p.m. giving away $1,000 an hour, or chance to win $1,000 per hour.
And how about $8,000 for 8 lucky Surge patrons, customers that come into the Surge that night at 8 o'clock?
Yes.
8 of them are going to have a chance to win $8,000. So essentially and hypothetically, if everybody gets their challenges, there's $16,000 up for grabs August 14th at the Surge.
Yes. So that is good. Janice doesn't go to the Bose Carnival, and Lori says she's getting hungry. So am I, because we're creeping up on lunch. So I think I think I told you about it all. We did an early show, one, because we wanted to bring the Mayor Al McDonald on live.
That's right.
And number two, me and you're going to go to Full Beard, which we're going to be doing a bunch of stuff there, and let the wait staff do their job, Kins. You can't be serving the KINZ and KLOMP beer. You don't have your smart serve, but
I can suggest it.
Do you think it's okay for you to go there as an ex-employee of Full Beard?
That's right. Are they going to look at me differently? This is the guy that couldn't put the label on properly. My label, actually, looking at the botch label, wasn't that it was off by a millimeter, not even a millimeter.
Way off. It was way off.
You think so?
Did you wind up buying that one or what?
Yeah. They let me take that one home. But again, I'm just going to say this, though. If you are on the patio, hopefully you are, between 5 and 10, you are allowed. Normally, you're not allowed to bring a can out to the patio, but because it's our KINZ and KLOMP Live 705, you're allowed to take the can and sit at your picnic bench underneath the tents. I'm looking at the forecast. It was raining earlier. It's not going to rain. It says sunny and 22 from this evening on. So, but if it does, rain, we're covered by tents. It's going to be a great afternoon. And again, you can bring your can to the table, which gives you a little bit more beverage than the little cups there. So there you go. All right. A little insight to the KINZ and KLOMP Live 705.
There you go.
Shameless plug. A shameless plug.
Yes, you're very good at those. I like it.
Yes.
You got a good skill set. Okay.
All right.
Don't be going down to the mayor's office to tomorrow morning. Expect a coffee.
No. Well, he did invite us.
Yeah. Wait till next week at least.
That's right.
All right. I'll see you in a few hours.
All right. We'll see you at 5. Full Beard's patio. We'll see you later.